Hello everybody. My name is Sam. I'm part of the Typica Origin team as focusing on the relations with Africa, as well as the head of QC at Typica. And this year, as for the second time, I was lucky enough to go as Typica with another colleague and some roasters to Kenya. So Kenya is a very interesting country, right? The way they work is very different from other countries in Africa, right? So in Kenya, there's something called the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, which you probably heard before. And they do auctions, right? So like any auction, you get different buyers that they're gonna bid for the coffee, and then they will pay for the coffee, and the producer or whoever is in charge of that coffee, sometimes before it could be a middle person for the producer, will get the cash or the payment for that coffee fairly quickly. Let's say it can take up to 2 days to 5 days working days, right? The thing is, this year all the coffees and all the pricing that is been happening the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, they've been very good, right? They've been really good pricing, and not only pricing but also cash flow for these producers. So Kenya have options, you know. Kenya have many options, which makes exporting and creating relations especially challenging when it comes to having both sides working correctly, right? The price dynamics and the whole situation with central Kenya, right? And Nairobi is getting bigger and bigger, right? Nairobi is really investing in creating more industry in the city, and all the farms, they are kind of pushing away due to the constructions. I do think now more than ever, both regions, they're going to be quite important for the coffee exporting and importing for Kenya. So right now, what we understand as traditional Kenya is mainly going to come from Central, and this is our offering when it comes to a more traditional and for a very important relation that we have as Typica for the last 5 years. And that's going to come from the central part of Kenya on the hand of Rockbern and Peter. In terms of quality and volumes, this year the harvest happened very quickly, happened very fast, and earlier than usual. The volumes are also lower. They are considering around 15 to 20% lower volumes. And also there is not on the, let's say, on the outturns of after milling, there is not much difference between AA, AB, PB, and C. The majority of the coffee has been actually AA. So this year, the majority of the central Kenya produced very high, very big beans, with AB following, and PBs. They've been the data that we have at this moment is that it's been around 5% of the total outturn, comparing to what you get on AA and AB. Also, the difference in pricing when it comes to different grading is very similar this year. So other years, maybe it was worth it to consider getting a mix of AA, AB, PB, or Cs in your coffee. And this year, we're seeing that one is not worth it because it's very low qualities when it comes to the lower grading and smaller beans. And also the price difference, it doesn't make a difference much considering for exports. Which is good news because everybody loves AA, right? We are also seeing, in terms of, like I said, for the price dynamics, we are going to be, for at least for the lower grades and the FAQ, we're going to see that it's going to be following the trend of the C market. And the micro lots, they're going to be a bit more of a higher value and also higher price for it. For FAQ, for everybody who is wondering on the table, you probably got this explanation already, but FAQ stands for fair average quality. And FAQ, it means the grade itself is going to be the same, the defect count is going to be the same. So you're not going to get a worse quality of the green itself for having an FAQ. The thing is that in Kenya, they have different Q graders doing a sensory analysis for the coffee. So the coffees that they are not performing as much, let's say usually internally FAQ is considered to understand each other at 84 coffee scoring, only sensory wise. And then the microlots are scoring a bit higher, right? But, as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Q graders, maybe more, 5 plus Q graders are typical, right? And we are calibrated in a different way comparing to Kenya. In Kenya, the majority of what they taste, the Q graders there are Kenyan coffee, right? For us, we see that these coffees are performing really, really well. And the price that you get definitely gives that value. There's very valuable coffee for the price. Rockbern, which I believe you guys are gonna cut today. And we're also very happy to be able to showcase the Peter's coffee for the 5th year since 2020. Peter is the founder of Rockbern, and he's coming from a family of farmers. He was working in banking before moving again to farm and to work on his farm, and also to work with the cooperatives around for exporting. And before Kenya kind of rules about exporting changed, he was very worried about the power that the multinationals they have in Kenya, right? So he wanted to give a bigger voice to all the producers and cooperatives in Kenya. And because when we're talking about the power of the multinationals, it means that basically the majority of the bigger bidders when it comes to the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, they're coming from multinationals. So that gives a bit of non-access to the market to cooperatives or producers. So Rockbern and Peter, they were always trying to focus to do that direct trade to roasters directly without going through the auctions. For Typica, the value that we have, at least from our partner Rockbern, is that we've been working together for 5 years. So we create like a very, very good relation with Rockbern and Peter. And that's something that many importers, they are starting to find more difficult when it comes to Kenya. So when I'm talking with these producers about what's the future or present future for Kenya coffee, all comes to the question of value and quality. So many of these producers on the next years, we're gonna see an increase in quality and also unexpected extra value for it when it comes to the prices as well, at least for coffees ready to export. Right now, the focus with Rockbern is going to be central Kenya. And as you can see, many of these washing stations, they're going to be run by different cooperatives of farmers, right? And Rockbern is focusing, one, on give a market to export these coffees, not just locally, and give them that extra value as well. So he works as a consultant for them. He works as a kind of like a test run for them. For example, one of the coffees that we are offering is from his own farm, Kedwa, and that will be for the FAQ plus, and that will be for the natural. The naturals are considering a very high risk in Kenya. So Peter, in order to show the producers that you can get extra value for your coffee without having high risk, he started producing natural, and to show these other producers that they can do it themselves too. So that's also why it's so rare to see some naturals coming from the center area of Kenya. There is the worry that the coffee is not gonna sell. It's taking way longer to produce. It's more difficult to produce for them since there's not something that they do usually. Sensory-wise, we still see fruits, we still see stone fruits, berries, long sweet aftertaste, and kind of like that complexity that Kenya has to offer. Of course, the microlots are also performing amazing. Some of my favorites are Maganjo, for example, and Karani, and also the Rockbern, the Kedwa, the FAQ Plus. For me, it reminds me a lot of like chamomile with like chamomile tea with like fruits, like yellow fruits or stone fruits. So all these coffees, if you're looking for a more complex coffee that can work for filter as well as espresso, they work really, really well. Of course, the natural, it's you're gonna see more tropical notes, more molasses, more caramel, and it's quite a rarity when it comes to Kenyan coffee. So for us, we are very, very happy of how Kenya is performing this year. So I thought I hope you guys enjoy the cupping, and any feedback or any comment, you can also talk with us at CM, or you can also even contact me directly. I'm sure anybody will give you my contact. I will be happy to talk with you more in depth about these amazing coffees.